Hello fantasy faithfuls and welcome to Season 3, Episode 5 of CSD Head-2-Head. Today I'm looking at Tyler Lockett and Stefon Diggs, so let's dig in.
10th play of a critical drive. To the end zone goes Russell Wilson. What an effort that time by Tyler Lockett. Oh my!
Starting off, we're breaking down the receiving of Tyler Lockett. Lockett leans heavily on three zones, the short right for volume and the two deep zones outside the numbers. Not a lot of receivers have three zones that stick out this much, but to be fair, 27% to the short left is still pretty high as well. But it's actually okay to lean heavily on three zones when you're doing it this well. He has very good catch rate to the short right, but it's in the two deep zones he makes his money. Anything over 70% in the deep zones is amazing, and he got 3 of them. I don't even have to mention the short zones, and they're still above 80% in all of them. His touchdown rate last year was 14.1%, and if we adjust for 2019, he's at 11.3%, so it's gone down slightly, but still 5% above league average. Furthermore, he does gain a bunch of yards when he catches the ball in the deep zones, being 5 yards above league average. His receiving trends show a guy that is stable with short targets, but have an amazing ceiling going deep. I really like this combination for fantasy.
Cousins has time, goes far sideline, end zone, it's Diggs! Touchdown!
Now let's take a look at Stefon Diggs. His target trends show that he is very much reliant on short passes outside the numbers, with the right side of the field being the more dominant one. Almost identical to Lockett, but far fewer deep shots and even more focus on that short right with 38%. This is also why he hasn't been better, as he should see more passes short left, where he is more reliable in catching the ball. 79% is good, but 88% is fantastic, and he's far behind Lockett in deep ball catch rates under 50% in all three zones. His touchdown rate last year was 6%, and adjusting for 2019, he's actually gone up to 6.5%, which is right above league average. Lastly, he has game-breaking numbers in all deep zones, actually outgaining Lockett when he catches the ball, but he is behind Lockett in all short zones except the short middle. He's the most boom-bust receiver I've looked at in all of 2019.
First down and 20 after the penalty, and Wilson is going to go deep downfield, and it's going to be caught for a touchdown to Tyler Lockett.
Looking at their opponents in Week 9, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for Lockett and the Kansas City Chiefs for Stefon Diggs. Lockett matches decently against the Buccaneers, especially deep left and over the middle. He will not be as productive on the right side of the field, as this is where the Bucs are one of the best defensive units in the entire NFL. As you can see on the screen, with only 72% catch rate for opposing receivers in the short right and 35% in the deep right. The Chiefs spread out their weaknesses and strength all over the field. The only zone that Diggs has a clear opening is over the deep middle. Otherwise, he will struggle short right with only 8.2 yards per catch to opposing receivers from the Chiefs all year. And even with 75% catch rate to opposing receivers being their worst short zone, it's still really good. Overall, the Buccaneers give up 24.8 points on average to wide receivers if we adjust for the last 3 games, while the Chiefs only give up 16, so a clear advantage to Lockett in this aspect. Same when we look at the strength of schedule. Lockett has easier opponents overall, but that is also heavily impacted by the fact that he will play Carolina, a team that right now give up points to receivers like they're handing out candy to trick-or-treaters.
Steps into it, pass is caught! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Let's look at how they perform in some different situations. Both players have been stronger at home in 2019, and this suits Lockett better as he plays home and Diggs is on the road in Week 9. Lockett scores more against good defenses, while Diggs needs a terrible pass defense to score big. Not a good fit for either one of them. Lastly, they are the same in the last category. Both score more against teams with winning records, so a plus for Diggs against the Chiefs, and not the best weeks for either one of them. Lockett's best situation is playing at home versus a top 16 pass defense with a winning record. Diggs' best situation is playing at home versus a bottom 16 pass defense with a winning record.
Surveys, nowhere to go, and back in the end zone. Touchdown! What a catch by Tyler Lockett.
Looking at the red zone, Lockett has seen 9 red zone targets this year, and Diggs has only seen 3. Lockett also has a higher share of the Seahawks red zone targets with 23.7 against Diggs' 15.8%. With 6 receptions and 3 touchdowns from his targets versus 1 reception and 1 touchdown, they have pretty good success rates, but the win in the red zone is easy for Lockett as more opportunity leads to more touchdowns in general.
Cousins first down, going deep for Diggs. He makes the catch. Stefon Diggs, touchdown.
Comparing their numbers, we see that Diggs has a higher ceiling with a big margin, meaning he has way more one-game upside. But Lockett has a much higher floor, so on a bad week, Lockett won't kill you, while Diggs can potentially carry your team on a good week. The risk factor is a win for Lockett. It is about a 50-50 chance he'll reach his prediction this week. For week 9, I have Lockett predicted for 9.6 fantasy points and Diggs for 12.9. With the boom and bust numbers, we see that Diggs' ceiling has been so high that there's no chance of him being above it, while Lockett actually can outscore 15.1 points, but can also be under 6.1. Looking at their pros and cons this week, we have fantastic retrieving trends for Lockett, an easier opponent that fits him decently, better red zone numbers, but a weak game situation and a lower projection. For Diggs, we see that he has a higher projection, a much higher ceiling, but a tougher opponent, weak game situation, and a crazy low floor. So, my pick after comparing all these factors in this video is Tyler Lockett. Going forward, Lockett has an easier schedule and better receiving trends you can trust week in and week out. I am not sold on players that just rely on a couple of big games to boost their overall fantasy score. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more weekly content, and please share this video on social media to help support the channel. Hello Fantasy Faithful, I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to check out more of them right here and here. In case you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a beat.